India has not banned travel just yet, but undoubtedly we are on our guard, and why not? There are travel guidelines amid threat of the spread of the new COVID variant. And what are these guidelines then that India has brought about? Let's talk about high-risk nations. A negative RT-PCR test before departure is required. A second RT-PCR test on arrival in India. Genome sequencing is extremely important when it comes to people coming in from this country. If they've tested positive, then the samples will be going in for genomic sequencing to understand if at all the patient has been infected with the Omicron variant. A mandatory 7-day quarantine for all is required. And when it comes to other countries which are not high risk, essentially, a negative RT-PCR test is also important before departure. Sample testing on arrival in India, again, genomic sequencing in case tested positive. No mandatory quarantine and no further tests required, unlike for those people who are coming in from high-risk nations. Now there is a raging debate about ban on international travel from countries that have reported Omicron. The World Health Organization as of now is dead against it, saying that South Africa is actually being penalized for making the world wake up to the new threat. India, meanwhile, is waiting it out. Here's more.
Nations are rushing to close borders to African countries. Many European countries have suspended flights from South Africa and some of its neighbors. Japan has blocked arrivals from all countries. Is the sudden ban fair? Will it stop the transmission of Omicron? The WHO says countries are jumping the gun. There is very little evidence of Omicron's volatility to merit such drastic measures.
WHO recommends that countries continue to apply a risk-based and a scientific approach when implementing travel measures, in accordance with the temporary recommendations of the 9th Emergency Committee. And it is important to note that every travel measures should be always weighed, and that countries can do a lot already in terms of surveillance and sequencing.
WHO, in fact, feels that South Africa and other affected countries need to be applauded.
South Africa and Botswana should be thanked for detecting, sequencing, and reporting this variant, not penalized. Indeed, Omicron demonstrates just why the world needs a new accord on pandemics. Our current system disincentivizes countries from alerting others to threats that will inevitably land on their shores.
Many virus experts agree with the WHO that travel bans, they say, serve little purpose.
I don't think that shutting down borders is necessarily the solution to limiting entry of a virus. It can do that, but it's not something that's sustainable. However, testing and tracking and making sure that we identify infected individuals and their contacts is something that we can pursue as a public health strategy.
But a world hit again and again by various COVID mutations is not taking chances.
When you diminish or stop or block travel from a particular country, there's a reason for that. It's to give you time to do things.
The chorus for a ban on international travel now is only growing after Delhi, Maharashtra has also approached the centre, asking them to ban flights from countries that have been affected by Omicron. But the government of India is right now adopting a wait-and-watch approach, given the fact that the World Health Organization is absolutely against it, and the scientific community also has apprehensions around travel ban. In New Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today.